I think they're absolutely appalling as a couple. I think they're actually doing the royal family a big disservice. I think they're an embarrassment. I think he's being led by the nose. I think he's very naive. I don't think he's quite even aware now what's happened to him. And I think he's been sucked into this whole thing by Meghan. And I think, yeah, they're out to destroy the royal family. For what reason, I don't know. So I think they're a couple of grifters.
Don't mince your words, Jeff.
Yeah, don't hold back.
No, you did ask me.
I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
But the only thing I would say is I do get a little bit annoyed when everyone blames the woman.
Yeah.
Because he is a grown man. He can make his own decisions. And if he wants to be sucked up and doing stupid things, it's his decision too. So I blame both of them equally. Aisha.
Again, I don't like the fact that Meghan gets blamed because Harry has stated so many times that he was unhappy, he wanted to leave, he was angry, whatever. I do feel that we've seen this camp between Harry and Meghan on one side and the royal family on the other, and what I have noticed is that people seem to love the royal family more, and for some reason people just don't like them, whatever they've done.
Don't like Harry and Meghan?
Yeah.
Shall I give you a couple of reasons? Because you don't seem to have any idea. It could be that, like, you know, first of all saying you want privacy and then going on the richest, most wealthiest, well-known TV presenter on the planet and then spewing all your nonsense about how awful the royal family are supposedly. And then it might have something to do with the Netflix, you must have seen those, the Netflix series which went out calling the British Empire 2.0, where they sort of decimated the royal family again.
Why can't they just go away? That question, tossed out by Jeff Banks, sums up a uniquely British frustration. But why can't we stop talking about Harry and Meghan? Every move explodes into headlines and furious social media threads. It's about more than royal drama. It's race, class, tradition and freedom, all under the harshest spotlight. Controversial opinions are the fuel that keeps this saga burning. The British press thrives on strong, polarising voices. When someone like Jeff Banks shouts, "They're irrelevant," on live television, it's not just a personal view, it's a provocation. These statements aren't meant to settle anything. They're designed to spark outrage and keep the audience hooked. In talk shows and tabloid headlines, bluntness is rewarded. Producers know a heated argument will go viral, and honest sound bites will be repeated everywhere. The more outrageous the claim, the more clicks it gets. The cycle is endless. A dramatic opinion is shared, picked up by tabloids, then dissected by pundits and the public. This approach polarizes opinion. It becomes easy to take sides, Team Royal or Team Sussex, without considering the facts. Subtlety and nuance are pushed aside. The loudest voices set the tone, shaping public sentiment and keeping the focus on conflict instead of understanding. Media stories about Harry and Meghan often bear little resemblance to their actual lives. Headlines scream about attention-seeking or plotting revenge, even as the couple quietly builds a life in California. The gap between the media narrative and their real actions is vast. But it's the narrative, not the reality, that sticks in people's minds. Stories about Meghan desperate to return or Harry begging for forgiveness usually rely on vague sources, but spread like wildfire. Meanwhile, the couple appears at a handful of public events and focuses on family and charity work. The reality is far less dramatic than the headlines suggest. This distortion creates a feedback loop. The public reacts to exaggerated stories, which encourages more exaggerated coverage. The result is a version of the truth shaped more by imagination than evidence. Who are these so-called royal experts in every article? Often they're people with only the loosest connections to the royal family, former staffers, biographers or journalists. Their insights are presented as fact, but the truth is often murkier. When anonymous sources are cited, it gets even harder to separate fact from guesswork. The use of unnamed insiders is a classic media tactic, allowing reporters to print almost anything. There is rarely any proof. The public is left to trust the journalist's word, even as stories become more sensational. If we don't know who is speaking, how can we judge whether they know anything at all? Wild claims can circulate for weeks before anyone bothers to challenge them. Unverified stories about Harry and Meghan are rarely challenged. Instead, they're repeated, amplified, and gradually accepted as common knowledge. This is how weak claims grow strong in the public mind. A single dubious report can spark 100 articles, each quoting the last as evidence. The media knows how to use repetition. A claim doesn't need to be true, it only needs to be told often enough. Over time, the details fade, but the narrative remains. Meghan broke up the family. Harry regrets everything. These phrases become background noise, difficult to dislodge. Constant exposure makes these claims seem more plausible. The result is a powerful illusion of consensus, one that's hard to break. This process not only misinforms, it drains attention from real issues, turning personal lives into endless distraction. A common myth is that Harry's decision to step back from royal duties began with Meghan. But Harry's discomfort with his royal role was clear long before he met her. He spoke in interviews about feeling trapped and wanting a different life. The idea that Meghan lured him away is a convenient but false narrative. What changed after they married was the intensity of the media hostility. Meghan, as a mixed-race woman and outsider, faced scrutiny and criticism unmatched by previous royal spouses. The coverage was relentless, often cruel, and sometimes openly racist. For Harry, already wary of the press after his mother's death, it became unbearable. Their decision to leave was about escaping an environment that had grown toxic. The press coverage wasn't just a backdrop, it was a driving force. If Harry and Meghan have stepped away, why can't their story fade? The answer lies in who benefits from keeping the drama alive. For tabloids and television, their saga means sales, clicks and viewers. For royal commentators, it means steady work. Even for some members of the public, the story offers a familiar soap opera to follow. For others, obsessing over Harry and Meghan is a way to debate bigger issues: British identity, tradition, class, and the monarchy. The Sussexes have become symbols, standing in for debates much bigger than themselves. But there is also a cost. The endless scrutiny damages real people and erodes public trust in both the media and the monarchy. It creates a climate where boundaries are ignored and private lives become public property. In the end, we must ask, who profits from our attention? And are we as a society better off for it, or just more divided and distracted?